Hi guys, it's me again. So today I'm going to be talking about advices on how you can prepare your recordings, including recordings for your recital, recordings for your audition. Because since the pandemic, a lot of the conservatoire has cancelled their live auditions and switched to online auditions instead. So I thought some of you might want to know about some tips, some advices on how to prepare for recording. And also I apologize in advance that this video might seem to be a little bit inorganized because this is not planned at all, because I was doing the previous video, like I was doing the one on how to prepare for an audition, but that one was more like for a live audition instead of for recorded auditions. So but since COVID, just any auditions they have switched to online. So I thought it might be useful for you to know some of the tips before you go into a studio, before you do a proper recording for your auditions. So let's start. So the other day I was talking about this with my friend, and she was talking about like how she felt very stressful about the recording. To be honest, in my opinion, I like live auditions way more than doing recordings. The first reason is that in the live audition, you tend to focus a lot easier. What I mean is that there's going to be live audience. Apparently on the panel there's going to be 2 to 3 people listening to you. It's going to be serious, it's a serious occasion, you know you have to be good. But look out for the stress in the live audition. That stress for me is a good stress, because when you feel a bit stressful, for me it's more like excitement for me, because I know somebody's listening, I know it's an audition that's important to me. So I put a lot of focus, I put a lot of effort in focusing in each of the notes I play. I try to do my best. But then in a recording, there's gonna be no audience at all, and you're just playing by yourself. Oh, with the pianist, of course. But you're doing it all on your own. It's not like a proper performing situation. So for me, it's really hard to focus. And I also think it's the thing, right? During the live audition, I would put my all in. It's like I don't have another chance to do it again. So I will focus 100% on the audition. Whereas recording, I know I can take my first take. Okay, I'm not satisfied, I can take the second, third, fourth takes. I can do as much as I want. But the reality is, the more we do, the less attention we will have. And that is also the reason why we always find the first few takes. For me, it's the first take that it's the best. Out of like 10 or more than that, I always choose the first recording. That is also the reason why, because at that time your attention level is here, and by the time the first hour is going to be here, second, third. Humanly speaking, we can't focus for that long. So even you have like 3 hours recording session on that day, I suggest you to do a run through first. So for except for recital, you need to do like a run through from beginning to the end, no cuts in between. That's normal for recital. But for if you're doing for audition, I don't think they require you to do one take, like a run through of all the pieces in one take. So if that's the case, I would still suggest you to do a run through first. Of course, you can take breaks in between, but do at least one take of each of the pieces before you do a second take of the same piece. So this way you make sure you have the right energy, you make sure you can make sure you're not too tired for any of the piece. You want to make sure you do the first takes of each pieces in the first hour, within the first hour. If you can, try to plan out the rundown before you do the recording, before your recording day, so at least you have in mind what you're going to do. And for me, listing the things that and planning the rundown, for me it's much organized and I feel less stressful because I have a clearer picture of what I'm going to do, and I know I'm going to have all the time in the world, all the time I need to do the recording that I need to submit for auditions or for my recital and for whatever purpose. So another advice for you is to plan ahead of your submission deadline. In case anything happens, it's just another thing to talk about stress. Everybody knows the deadline is there. You're gonna think about it, let you think about it, you're gonna think about it. It's gonna stress you out more, even more, when you do the recording closer to the deadline. So you're gonna think, oh, I don't have time for doing another take again. I must do it correctly on this recording day. I don't have any choices anymore. So that for me will add in much pressure on myself to do the best take, to do the perfect take on the recording day. Whereas if you leave at least a week before, you can still think like, oh, even today I'm not completely satisfied with the recording, I still have time to do another one. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be 1 week exactly. Again, it's a very personal thing. Just make sure, leave some time ahead before your submission deadline, and it's just a mind thing for me. It's just less stressful for me. The other thing you could do is talk to people you know that you can trust. Talk to people, just talk about your stress and talk about the recording, and ask for advices from teacher, from your professor if you're stressed out. I remember once I asked, because I was preparing for a competition, but I still need to prepare for my final exam pieces, and I have a lot to do with, I have a lot repertoire to play, to prepare. Then I told my professor that, oh, I'm very stressful these days because of this and that, and then I received some really helpful advices on how I should deal with it. So sometimes talk to people, experienced people, and trust me, you will feel much better after that. Stress for me is a lot of the time it's in our heads, like imagining things, all sorts of things that could probably go wrong, or things that wouldn't happen, but we like to imagine, we like to predict bad things. But the thing is, it's all in our heads. The thing is, reality is, they don't always happen. So sometimes you need people to remind you of the things that sometimes you're in there. In Chinese, we have like a phrase, it's called 當局者迷. 當局者迷. So it means when you're in that situation or in that kind of emotion, you don't see things clearly. So sometimes you need help from other people to remind you that, oh, this is not too bad, this situation is not too bad. And you're going to be fine, you are going to be prepared. I'm going to have a video on advices on how you can prepare for your live auditions, for auditions in general. Though not focusing on doing recordings like this one, but then you can still have a look on how you can prepare yourself for the audition. Also, this one I find it very true to me, for me. The exam pieces, right? I was supposed, for this year, I was supposed to do my exam in May, but then you know what happened, like the pandemic happened. I had to go back to my hometown in April and everything was so unsure, so basically they pushed the exam till August. That's a whole lot after the original plan. So I wasn't planning to play it that late. I wish I chose another piece for my exam. The reason is because so I did Walton and Brahms Sonata for my final exam, Walton Concerto and Brahms Sonata. So for Walton, I started playing it. So I've learned this piece before, actually. To be honest, I've learned it. To be fair, I learned the notes, but I didn't really learn it. If you get what I mean. So so I did this Walton for my master's audition. I used that piece, and I did that I performed it quite a lot of times in master classes, and I performed it in studio classes. I was super ready already. So at that time I'm getting a bit sick of the piece already before I record the exam actually. So one thing you want to avoid is to play the piece too many times. I know it's so tempting recording. Oh, I can schedule 10 days and I can do 10 days of recording, just recordings. But the thing is, right, you need to keep it fresh in your mind. The thing is, if you play one piece for so many times, for too many times, let's say, it just doesn't feel right. At least for me, very strongly. I feel this very strongly. Sometimes you need to take a break from a piece that you play for too many times. So yeah, I think this is also for general stuff also, but especially if recording, don't think like, oh, I have 10 days to do, I would do 10 days. Don't think you can perform better on the 10th day. On the 10th day, you might be getting tired of the piece already. So it's better to do it one day than to do it 10 days. For some of the takes, you might love it because of the what you think is perfect intonation, perfect technique, what you think, but then you don't have that excitement in the notes. You don't have the passion. Like if I don't know if you can feel it when someone plays a piece that she or he doesn't like. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. If the person, you can tell when the person is tired of the piece or just doesn't like the piece at all. So it's really obvious. And yeah, so I think I would love to avoid that in my recording as well. So that's all for today. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe button if you like my content. And if you would like to know more tips and advices on auditions, please comment down below and let me know what sort of area in auditions or anything about music anyway, or anything about anything anything that you are interested, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will try to make more videos of that. And yeah, sorry if this is so not organized, because this is kind of like an improvised video. I didn't have a script beforehand, so I'm just talking, I'm just throwing topics here and there, but I really hope that this video has helped you to be less stressful about this whole recording thing. But I know it's still stressful, but yeah, if you have any advices at all, please comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Any audience in the audience? Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, listen. Okay, I hope it doesn't, well, I'm gonna cut that out anyway, so yeah, so